communication is key. If you're not getting that peace of mind at home, being able to sit down and communicate and talk to your spouse, talk to your significant other versus stepping out, you know what I mean?
We as men, as black men, we deal with this world a lot differently than any other human being out there because we've already got 2 strikes on us, and sometimes we don't know if we're gonna make it home from work safely.
Let's talk about it.
It goes back to where you say, well, when your father used to tell you, or your uncle used to tell you, oh, real man don't cry.
Right.
Real man don't seek help. They figure it out. But you got to understand, this issue is way bigger than me, man.
Right.
And like, well, back in our days, man, we just didn't worry about it. We sat around with our homies, we drank, we talked about it. Yeah, but that's just putting the mask on.
Right.
You covering up the main issue instead of going to go seek that help.
And one of the things that I applaud, we have 3 of our major athletes. Ben Simmons was one, was a Naomi Osaka, and I think was a little gymnast girl. They all, in the middle of the height of what they were good at, they said, hey, I need to take some time out because mentally I'm not ready for this. And people go, well, that's the job. It's a job, just that. It's a job, but it's not your life. So for them to say, I'm going to forego millions of dollars to seek some internal help, I tell you, for the black community, for me, that my heart said, I get it, I love it.
Right.
But I hear a lot of people go, they crazy for doing. I said, no, they crazy if they don't.
Yeah.
Because when you look in that mirror and you want to cry, because like when I watched Naomi Osaka break down, my heart hurt because we as a community was condemning her.
Right.
Instead of chiming in to help her, we were breaking her down. And that's, like you said, that's a problem that's deeper than us. It goes way back generations to generations. But these children are now realizing, I don't have to repeat the same sins and crazies that my parents and their parents and their parents had to deal with.
Right.
I got to live in this body.
Right.
Yeah.
And like he said, I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. So I'm going to do everything possibly to make sure my children know there is an avenue. There is a way.
And it's crazy because we do it all the time on a typical employee level. Right. Oh, stress leave. I need to take some time off work. This job's stressing me out. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got different avenues set up for you to be able to get partial or a portion of your paycheck when you take a stress leave or something like that. We put too much stress on there or too much, we hold these professional athletes at too high of a regard like they not normal people. Yeah. They regular people just like we are. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, everybody don't deal with stress the same. You know what I mean? So you mentioned Ben Simmons, like maybe the lights just might have got a little too bright for him. You know what I mean? Who are we to condemn him for that? You know, I seen my own son go through it. You know, we made it all the way to championship football game. He was leading the whole league in touchdowns, yards gained, and everything. And he know that this game is, we depending on you to go score, bro, to win this game. And he threw up on the field. It got too big for him. You know what I mean? You know, the coach is looking like, hey, talk to him. Like, bro, he done, bro. He's done. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to put that stress on my son. He done, bro. This a Pop Warner Pee Wee League football game, man. You know, I'll talk to him, you know, let him know it's just a game, son. You don't have to put all that pressure on yourself. But at the end of the day, he's clearly going through something right now. So I'm going to let him work through that. And he come have a seat, you know.
Yeah, have a seat and enjoy the game.
Right, absolutely.
Because if which brings me to what you were saying about the athletes. Remember, it was a while back. I know you remember. I'm pretty sure you remember when his name is Meta War Peace now.
Right, yeah. Ron Artest.
Ron Artest.
Formerly Ron Artest.
Formerly Ron Artest. Yeah. Remember when they got into that big old brawl? Fans came out of the stands fighting.
Malice at the Palace.
Huh?
Malice at the Palace.
Yes, the Malice at the Palace. And they was fighting everybody. And Ron Artest was like, man, do you guys, they don't know that at halftime, I was drinking a fifth. He said he was drinking a fifth of Hennessy because to deal with his demons.
Right.
But he's saying he couldn't take the time off because the team needed him.
Right.
And then he finally saw when he broke down when they suspended him for all those games and all this, and everybody was like, now you can go out and party, you can go out and do this. And he was like, no, now I'm gonna go get help.
Right.
There was a part in that same, if you watch that Malice at the Palace, he was checking himself. Literally. You see when he sat on the scorer's table, and he was trying to come back. And the thing that sent him over the edge is when the fan hit him with a bottle.
Yeah.
He threw the
And
drink on
everything he corralled went right out the window. And I hate to say it like this. I don't know if I wouldn't have reacted the same way. I probably would have. Because I've gone to some of these sports games and listened to how these people talk to these athletes. It's no less than when Jackie Robinson was playing.
Yeah.
No less than Muhammad Ali was. Because you hear the things and the slurs that these people got to deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's not real. Because people talking about bullying's not nice. Well, you need to figure that out at these games. Just because I pay $125 for a seat does not give me the right to sit here and denigrate someone's person or talk about someone's family members. Because I know, and I know he'll understand this. If I catch you talking about my kids and my wife, I'm pretty sure all bets gonna be off at that moment.
I mean, I was just going through that at a high school football game. My oldest son playing football, and the people sitting behind my mom, they just trashing my son. And I'm just like, I'm telling my mom, I'm like, I know it was taking everything in you not to say nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, critique his play. That's if you're going to critique his play. But at the same time, this is starting from the youth age. You know what I mean? Of all this pressure being put on these athletes, it's crazy. I mean, and to bring up Ron Artest, if you guys remember when he won that championship with the Lakers, he shouted out his therapist.
Yeah, remember I told you, he sure
He
did.
said, shout out to my therapist.
I like to take my therapist.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And a lot of people say it's not bad to get help. But remember when and I can't remember who he was fighting, but it was Muhammad Ali when that dude kept disrespecting him, and every round Ali kept hitting him. What's my name? Say my name. Now everybody thought that was just a joke he was doing.
No, he was
serious.
serious.
But he was dead serious.
Yeah.
He was dead serious about my name is Muhammad Ali. He said, your mama named you Cassius Clay. That's what I'm gonna call you. He was like,
Sonny
no.
Liston.
Sonny Liston.
I
Yeah.
remember
He was
that.
like,
Sonny
no,
Liston.
my name is Muhammad Ali. And I'm gonna make sure you remember that name.
Right.
Yeah.
So and everybody was like, he's doing, fly like a butterfly, sting like, flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and all that rhyming and everything he was doing. But nah, that man, he was tired of being disrespected.
And you can only take it so
You can only
especially-
take it so
and that's
much.
what I said, that's part for us as black men. For years, like you said, we've never been taught men don't cry. Suck it up. You'll figure it out. If I've never went to school for therapy, I don't know what to figure out. I'm trying to figure this world out. And a lot of us, what happens is a lot of people kill themselves because the demons in their head,
Yeah.
you can't escape that demon. Because every time you close your eyes, you hear it. Every time you wake up, you hear it. Like I said, Ron Tess was drinking a fifth. Some people wake up drinking a gallon.
Yeah.
And they drinking it the rest of the day just so they don't have to hear those voices.
Right.
And we as black men in this world, we need to seek more help, because if we help, the Bible says, how can I first bind the strong man's house without first binding the strong man?
Yeah.
Because we are the first partakers. So if we don't take our role to take care of us first, we can't really literally take care of our children, our spouses, or anything else. Because once we fall apart, the rest of us falls apart. This kind of goes back to slavery times. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. It's what they did, and what happened then was men were not a part of the household.
Right.
Either you were a buck or you got shipped off to a new plantation. So we as fathers want to be fathers, but it's hard for me to invest in my fatherhood when I know I'm not going to be here long.
Right.
So it's like, here you are. Okay, I done made a kid. Now I'm going to another plantation.
Right.
Make a kid, try to make a life, going to another. And it's kind of like what has been fathered down. So if I don't see a fatherhood figure in my life, it's hard for me to understand what a fatherhood is like. I hate to say it, I've been divorced twice. My first marriage, I was a married single man.
Right.
Because I didn't understand what marriage was supposed to be. Even though I saw marriage in my life, I didn't see a happy marriage. I saw marriage.
Right.
So I run this house, you do what I say. So that's what I did. But I was out there doing my thing. Come home, I'm married.
Right.
So we as boys, we repeat what we see. Because if we see the man down the street chopping trees, we gonna grab some chop tree trying to do what he doing.
Right.
But if we see our dad, we don't see our daddy, guess what happens? We're going to find somebody to emulate.
Right.
And nowadays, it's going to emulate something because we see it on TV.
Yeah.
Right.
You got your phone, and we got to be very vigilant. And some people, I tell them, you got to go through your kids' stuff to see what they're doing, where they're going. Because if you don't teach your kids, guess what? They're going to learn
Somebody else
it
is gonna
somewhere.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but to a certain extent, you know, like I always look at it, you know, me growing up in the Los Angeles area, and you know, on the back end of the crack epidemic, I think if your parents did crack, it's kind of like that's what you did in front of you. I'm not even just gonna say crack. Let's say you got an alcoholic parent.
Right.
Your experience from having an alcoholic parent is gonna mold you and push you into one or two directions.
Right.
Either you're gonna go down that same path, or you're gonna go the complete opposite direction because you know the turmoil and the mayhem that brought to your household.
You send it on both hands.
Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it all comes from which decision are you gonna make. And I think it's a lot easier to just go down the path of, you know,
Path of least resistance.
right, you know what I mean? It's just go down that same path.
Path of least resistance.
There you go.
You know,
Pass the least resistance.
I remember a young man I went to school with, and, you know, everybody in his family gangbang.
Right.
From him probably being the youngest all the way up to his grandparents. They all from the hood.
Mm-hmm.
What other option did he have?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, he had an option to do different.
Right.
But that would have been a lot harder on him because now he the black sheep. He so you think you better than everybody else. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But somebody got to make that decision. Somebody got to straighten out that path, you know what I mean, for the future generations. You know what I mean? So that was one of the reasons why I chose to go ahead and go to counseling because, for one, I ain't got all the answers. I'm at my wit's end with this situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm praying, and this is where that my prayers led me to go seek some counseling, which was a religiously based counseling. You know what I mean? So it was all based off of the word of God as far as with the directions where they were taking me with the counseling sessions. And I started taking my children. You know what I mean? Because again, we don't have all the answers, man. So that was not the path of least resistance for me. It would have been a lot easier for me to just go
Right to the
get a
thing.
fifth. You know what I'm saying? You know
That's
what I mean?
it. Right.
Or you know what I mean? Smoke my miseries away. You know
That's
what I mean?
it.
Whatever the situation may be, but I was a better man for it. It helped me improve my relationships with my children to understand that, hey, you don't have the best communication skills.
Right.
Sometimes you might need to listen to your kids more than yelling at them and talking at them and not talking to them. You know what I mean? So those are some of the things that I learned, and things that I'm still learning to implement on a more consistent basis. Because just like you said earlier, it's harder to learn behaviors before you can start adopting the new behaviors that you're trying to learn. You know what I mean?
Because wait. This is what I've been doing.
Right.
Now you want me to do this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just like learning. It's like learning how to play golf. I've been swinging it like this. Now you try to tell me I got to hold my hand like this and do it like that, but that feel uncomfortable. You know why? Because it's something new.
And it's you have to have the willingness to be naked.
Yeah, you have to submit.
And for us men, it's hard for us to admit we're wrong.
Right.
And once you can learn how to admit you're wrong, then you can get correction in the right direction. Because a lot of times when we admit we're wrong, and I'm gonna say it like this, we get punked.
Right.
And you know what I mean? It's like okay, how many times you gonna tell me?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
so
I'm
now
wrong.
let's find a solution.
That's right.
Then we got to do, because like, and to piggyback on when he was talking about the one gangbanger, he still had to see somebody that was doing something different than what his family was doing. And when he saw that, he said, I think that's better for me. Because I grew up in that era. I grew up in Compton and seeing all that stuff. And I thank God for my mother. She moved us out of that. Because I'm telling you, I'd have been right down the middle of it. But because I saw something different, I saw school, we grew up around a bunch of white folks. And when I get around my family, they tell me, oh, you sound white. No, I don't.
You
But-
hear me different.
Yeah, it's because I'm not in the hood no more. So now my exposure has changed. So I don't see crack every day. I don't see drive-bys. I don't see this. Because when I see something different, it gives me the opportunity. It's like when he takes his kids to therapy, he gives them something else to see other than to be angry And we as black men are labeled as angry all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, we're angry because I've got all this in me and I don't know what to do.
That's it. Yeah, that's why they say we got to, what the Bible says, seek ye and you shall find. You have to go out there and find something different than what you normally see.
Right.
It has to be something different. I mean, my brothers, like I'm the youngest of the 5. All my brothers graduated and everything, and so they looking at me. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna graduate. I'm not worried about that. But all of them surrounded me. All 4 of them surrounded me. Like, you the last leg on the baton, on the baton. Or you the last leg on the relay.
Right.
Don't drop the baton. Bring it home.
I would say that's a legacy.
Yeah, they like, all in. My mother had 5 boys, and all 5 of us graduated high school. And, I was the youngest, and they were like, dude, don't drop the baton, man.
Right.
My brother graduated in 88. My brother graduated in 87. He's like, dude, you graduated in 89. Here to go with the baton.
And
Don't drop it.
Right.
You see, that you had a legacy to follow.
Yeah.
And if we don't give our children a legacy to follow, they will create their own legacy. Because the Bible says foolishness is bound in the heart of a child.
Right.
If you let a child do what they want, they're going to run into something that you don't want them to be in, that you already know it's not good for them. But if we're not there as fathers to steer their shoulders in the right direction, it's like being a coach. Sometimes you got to grab your coach, you got to grab that player by the shoulders. Look at me, boy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes their brain, they watching the butterflies. He know exactly what I mean. They out there. Focus.
Yeah.
All I need, all I need for you to do is this. Because I'm gonna fit in with this one. I coach football. We were in the divisional championship team.
Right.
I had a little boy. I'm telling you, there was no reason for him to be on the field. Honestly, God's honest truth, because he was not a football player. But when you sign him up, you have to be there. And I took this little boy. We were up by 3 points. They were marching down to score with like 45 seconds on the clock. And I looked at this little boy and I said, I got to put him in. I looked at him. Bring me the ball. He was going, okay. Now he was about this high.
Right.
Little round kid. Every time I hiked the ball, he would do this. But I'm killing you. I put him in the game and I just kind of put my head down. I said, oh God, please. That's all I said.
Right.
And all I heard was fumble.
Right.
And the little kid come out the scrum, helmet all kind of sideways, walk to the side, bring me the football.
You told me the ball.
He said, Coach, you told me to bring you the ball.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, and then that hit me and I said, you know what? Kids will pay attention to what you say.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you don't say something, they're going to pay attention to that. But this little boy, I told him to bring me the ball. One of the least likely on the whole field. But my words were everything to him.
Yes.
It's like your father's words, everything to you. But if your father's not there, if the man's not there, guess what? They don't hear words.
Find
So
somebody
they
else
see
to
the
look up
hood.
Right.
Cats in the hood. You ain't got to go to school. Come over here and make this money. I done heard that many times.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, but that money is kind of,
Very.
because I remember when the crack epidemic was, I could make $1,200 in an hour or $450 in an hour.
Right.
Gone.
Right.
Exactly.
We don't know that the shiny part has consequences.
Right.
But over here, it's hard work, but at night I can put my head down. I ain't got to worry about getting shot at, going to jail. But we don't teach our community that. We teach our community to get what you got to get.
So they just gave me the 3-minute wrap-up sign, and that was probably up like maybe 2 minutes ago. So, what I would like to do is for you guys just to give, just whatever's on your heart right now. You can just look into the camera if you want to say something about family, love, relationship. Just go ahead and say it to the camera. Speak from your heart, speak from your mind, and just basically say how you feel. If we can wrap this love, family, relationship segment up, and you never know, it's gonna happen again.
Oh yes.
So
Appreciate it.
yeah, no problem, and I appreciate. And another thing is, I'm gonna probably say it twice, but I appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I like the fact that both of you guys have something to do with the youth. So now we're only talking about us. We're talking about, the generation that's coming up after us.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and Look at the, let me see which one. Look into your camera here.
All right.
And just, you go first, you go next, and then we'll just go from there.
I'm a huge advocate, man, for fathers' rights. I think us as black men, we don't fight hard enough for our children in the court, man. We blame the crazy baby mama, this, that, or the third. That's the path of least resistance for you to just see a kid on the weekend. It's a viral video going around of the baby daddy only bought his kid McDonald's and all of that. We got to stop that, man. We got to cut that out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm calling on all young black men out there, all black men, period, all men, period. Man up, bro. Man up. Go take care of your babies. You know what I mean? If you willing to go, whatever it is you putting your time into, if you take that same energy and put that into making sure that you're a valuable part of your children's life, and I'm not just talking about on the weekend, and then when you are seeing them, you dropping them off at your mama house and this, that, and the third, whether if you my homeboy or you don't know me, I'm talking to you. If the shoe fit, wear it. You know what I mean? If the cap fit, wear it. Man up, go get your babies. Go fight for your babies, man. Fight for your babies because your sons need you. Your daughters need you. They need their father in their life. You know what I mean? That's why we got all these women out here right now just being overly sexualized. You know what I mean? Overly sexualized in the music. And they talking like us. They talking like men. You know what I mean? And personally, it's disgusting, man. I got 2 daughters, man, and I can't stand some of the music that I'm hearing coming out of a woman's mouth, man. And it's, and it's equally coming out of a man's mouth too. We got to uplift our black women. We got to uplift each other. So at the end of the day, again, I just want to reiterate that. Fight for your children. Regardless of however many times you got to go back and forth to court, it's going to be worth it at the end of the day because your kids going to remember your actions. They're going to remember the effort that you put in to be a part of their life.
Mine is twofold. First, I'm going to speak to my sisters out there. We as men, we don't hate you. We love you. But what we really would like to say from you is that we want you to be our greatest cheerleader, not our greatest negative critic. You can get, there's an old saying, you can get more flies with honey you can with vinegar. When we come home, make us feel like we're the best thing since sliced bread. It may not be true, but that bit of encouragement will make us do that bit much more. Not saying you're the fault, but help us. And I'm going to piggyback on what he said. Men, we've got to do a better job. We have dropped the ball in our community. It's no more, there's no excuse anymore because there's YouTube, there's self-help. We can do much more. And lastly, to my family, if I've done anything that you disapprove of, understand, from my heart, I will apologize to you because I love you. And I'm not talking just my natural family, I'm talking to my whole family. Anyone that's part of my blood is not part of my blood. Because we have to understand that God made us the first partakers. And we have apologized. We need to apologize for past sins and future sins. We have to be open to communicate. And communicate sometimes just not means talking. I'm just talking to you, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. But you have to also take in, the Bible says, how the faith cometh by hearing. It didn't say come by talking. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth because he wants to hear twice as much as we say. So, as my brother said, men, we gotta pick it up. We have no choice because this world is going to hell real quick because we've taken a back seat and let things play. It's time out for playing. School is in session. It's time for us to man up and pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and get our families back.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here on Let's Talk About It. Now, ladies, I hope we answered all the questions that you submitted. If we didn't get to it, well, as you can see, this is a lengthy process. So this will be a part 2. I will bring these gentlemen back, or I might bring 2 different gentlemen back, 2 different races. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just know that I'm going to do it, and we're going to talk about it. First, I want to tell you thank you for tuning in. And always remember, don't ever share your 8x10 dream with somebody with a 5x7 mind. My name is Raheem Mitchell. God bless. I'll see you next week. Peace.
Let's talk about it, talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That girl from LA and that guy. Let's talk about it. Talk about it.